Hey guys, welcome back to the live stream. Working on John and Susan's build, and we are switching gears because we ran out of wood. So I got to go and get some more plywood from Lowe's for the bed panel because we used up all the Baltic birch. And the nice thing is the Baltic birch is really heavy, and so the lighter panels for the bed, we're not sacrificing strength. The wood is just going to be lighter, so we're using the blonde sanded ply from Lowe's. So we'll pick that up. We're going to get 3 sheets of that, 2 for the bed panel, and then 1 just as extra if we're finishing up the electrical cabinet. Behind me, we're going to be hopping over here, and since we're going to pick up wood later today, we're going to switch gears, like I said, and finish up cutting the water tank level. Technically, we call it a sight glass, but it's not. It's not really a sight glass. It's just a hole to look through to check your water level. This one is it's not going to be as long as I want it to show the maximum, high and low level. In this situation, what we had to do is, let me move this a little bit closer. So again, I'm trying to maximize the space for John and Susan on their water system because we went with a nice 4-gallon hot water tank and we went with a nice 36-gallon freshwater tank. So it takes up a lot of room, so I didn't want to make it any wider to hide the hot water and cold water lines. So what you're looking at right now is actually this is the side panel of the water system. I think the camera was better back in the other position. There we go. So this is the side panel. So what we have is the side panel of the water tank, and then right here is the notch for the L track. So we've already got the L track bolted in. So this is just so that it's just easier to take on and off. And this section's tight, so this butts up right against the back of the kitchen galley and that kind of divider wall. So instead of being, snagging on this when you're trying to pull it out, we've got like a little notch so we can just take it right out. This side I'm doing differently, so the L track will just pop up here. So when you need to take this out, you'll just lift it up from the back and then slide it forward. Next, this is what we're going to cut, is that hole. Now, what I was saying earlier is that we have all of our hot water, hot and cold lines coming down here. So we have our supply line, we have our supply to our hot water tank, we have our return from the hot water tank going up on the top, and then we've got our return on the bottom for the fresh water. Now, when I say return, those 2 lines are actually going back into the rear shower compartment. So I lost 6 inches down here, and then I lost 5 inches up here. So the difference is what we have to work with for our opening to see the tank level. So you'll be able to see probably 25% fill, 50%, and 75%. So from 25% to 75%, you'll be able to see that window. Anything above or less, you won't be able to see. But 36 gallons is a lot. So, but yeah, a little bit of a compromise, but it's so that I can make it bigger. But you're just going to see all the exposed water lines, and I don't think that looks good. So now, allowing you to view this, we have a blue LED that turns on when you turn the water pump on. And turn the water pump on, the whole entire opening will glow blue. And then that difference in color with it hitting the water versus the empty section, you'll see that line that's visible, and that'll tell you the tank level. Easy way, that way you don't have to cut into the water tank and make an extra hole. You don't have to add any more electronics or gauges or any type of thing like that. It's just a visual indicator, nice and simple. So we're going to get to work here. There's 2 pieces that I need to cut. So we're going to use our track saw for the second piece, and we're going to use a hole saw and a jigsaw for this first piece, cutting out our window. So the second piece I have right here, this one, we need to take about a 1/16 of an inch off this backside edge, and then it'll be perfect. Just a little too tight in there, and then after we paint it, we just don't want it stick. We won't. These will probably never be removed, but if you do need to remove them, I want to make it easy for these to be taken out. So both of these you can use for inspection panels. At the back of the van, there is an inspection panel that allows you to access the water pump itself, remove and replace it if necessary, as well as cleaning out the strainer basket, which you want to check maybe once every 6 months, or as often as you want. It just depends on how much you fill and empty the tank. So track saw is going over here. We'll knock this out. So this first thing I'm going to do is actually go ahead and drill and cut out these this window here. One thing that's been really useful in the shop is this kettlebell. It's like my second hands. So just plop it right there. One thing that I would invest in if you guys are a DIYer, you can probably use this for projects in the house as well. So this is a hole saw kit, and it's the one from Lowe's. So it doesn't have to be this one, but having a really good hole saw just makes life so much easier with working on a van. You've got different holes you got to cut out in different compartments, and you need a really good hole saw. Do not use anything from Harbor Freight, any type of kit that has multiple ones that's cheap. It is well worth it to get a really nice kit. This is a nice kit from Lowe's, but I would even go higher and try to get something, maybe like a carbide tip hole saw. Something really expensive, because I actually use this a lot. Now, what's nice about this is a couple things. It has this quick disconnect, so that the plug that's created on here when you drill out a hole saw, whatever material, plastic or wood, you can just take this and pull it back, and it's going to pop out that piece of wood or plastic. And then it comes back in and then just snaps. Then also it has this collar that you pull back, and you can quickly change the different heads on here. And you don't have to worry about making sure that it's really, perfectly tight, because it'll find its holes and just lock back into place. And whatever bit this is really nice. So I have a concrete one, and then I have just some additional ones. The kit only comes with non-concrete, but sometimes I installed my air conditioner, I needed the concrete tip. So we're using 1.5 inches to start our process over here. And I'll move the camera in, because I think a lot of you guys will want to do this, and I'm just going to show you exactly how to do it. So if you're ever doing a type of like a curve in a van, what you want to do is use a hole saw. You don't want to jigsaw out the curve. You're going to want to hole saw out the curve. And we're doing that so that we get a nice, very neat radius. So what I've done is I've measured, I found a spot coming from the back of the van forward. So this line represents it's directly underneath the LED, so it's going to give you the most illumination. So 12 inches back is where I've mounted that. And then if we go from here, this is the bottom, so this is where most of our water lines are. So we have a 2x4 So it's 3.5 inches. And then from 3.5 to 6 is all of our water lines. And then from 6 inches to 13 inches is our opening for our viewable window. And then 13 to 18 is again another 2x4 support and the hot water to the rear shower. And then all I've done is I've taken the 1.5 inch, divided it in half, which is our 3/4. So I come up 3/4 of an inch and I come down 3/4 of an inch. And then once I finish, I take a center punch and I punch the 2 holes where I want my hole saw to start. And then all we have to do is drill it out. And I think my audio has been automatically ducking the volume when I do stuff like this, so we're just gonna go for it. Yeah, but let me know if it's crazy loud, but it shouldn't be. Okay, this is a pro tip because I always forget to do this, believe it or not. So we start our hole saw on the back. It punches through, and so this is our nice side. It's the side that's going to be painted. And you can see we have a little bit of blowout here. Now, if the hole saw comes through the other side, it's just going to destroy this nice face that we are going to paint, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our 2 holes, and then now we're going to take the same hole saw and we're going to do the remainder of the cut from the front side. And so this is what's really cool about this hole saw. So watch, when I push this button, I can come and I can take this out, and then I can just get back to work on the second one. It's just really convenient. Same thing, just pull it right out. Okay, so now we need to get our square and just draw some more lines so that we can follow them with our jigsaw. And then it'll also give us a chance to make sure that when we did do our holes, that we didn't goof and make these, offset. When you're using a square, I always go on the inside line and have this going down. You don't want to go from the side that's up. You just want to go from the side that's down. And the square is only going to be square if your side over here is square to this. So if you did not cut your wood out accurately, then the square is going to draw a crooked line. Okay. Now this line is on the inside of the curve, and I'm actually going to cut on the inside here. And that inside will allow me to, if I need to sand this, just to make sure it looks neat, then I can do that. Now I'm going nice and easy because again, technically I should, well, actually I'm going to do that. I say technically, that means I need to show you the right way. Okay. This is the side that we don't want to have any chip out happen, or blowout, or whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to get this thing where we want it, and you can get a blade for a jigsaw that cuts out curves or straight edge. So yeah, believe it or not, there's actually jigsaw blades that allow you to cut curves easier. The blade is the difference. It's not your technique. So there's a specific blade for actually cutting out curves. So I'm gonna go find, let's see here. Let's see if I can show you guys some two different ones as I go grab my, wherever I put my jigsaw, not jigsaw, yeah. Got a battery on it, good. Okay, so the first one we have here, we've got two. First one is the wood clean cut. So these little words right here say clean cut. And they look exactly the same, but this one says wood curve, clean cut top and bottom. So this is for curve, and this is for clean cut, but it's hard. You have to look at these words right here because they all look almost identical. So we're just going to do the clean cut. And this DeWalt 20 volt max is the best jigsaw I've ever used. So this one was the other kind. So this one we're just going to pull out of here. Get a fresh blade for this. Okay, so now we'll be able to cut this out nice and clean. So I'm gonna hit this one more time because I was a little too far in. There we go. You guys can see with a jigsaw, it is possible to get a really nice cut. And we're going to get, you want to have a soft block because we want to have that round over effect. But we don't want it rounded over so much that it would be like using a router. And I'm actually going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut just a piece of that off. I can get in here. And you want to go side to side. You really don't want to go up and down. We're going to save this because after we do a couple coats of paint, there's like a hole we got to fill. We got to do some filler on the void inside the wood. There's a void right there. Okay, so that is our tank level window. See, no need for CNC, but if you just take your time. Okay, so this is sanded, prepped. This is ready for its first coat of paint. So we'll move this over here by the wall for a second. We got our next piece. This is the one we need to take the track saw. The track saw is great for quick, accurate cuts. Maintained. That would be the better thing to use, but my crosscut sled is not that big, so this one's really tricky because you guys may have known or may know that Van's not square, so we've had to make some scribes to this to get it to be the right line. But what's nice about a track saw is if you use this edge is an exact representation of where the blade is going to cut. So if you just have the line exactly where you want it, that's exactly what the track saw is going to remove. I'm just making sure my spacing where my original line is maintained. You can click this and actually run your blade down just to make sure the track is, or the cut is what you want. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and cut it. And that might have been enough, but I want this to be a really tight fit. So I only took off what I thought I needed. I'm just taking these edges off real quick. And after the paint's dry tomorrow, I'll show you guys what this looks like. All right, so that's the front. Let's just test this. Perfect fit. Excellent. Yeah, the reason I take so much time on this is because the way I'm building this box for the back of the van is the seams are very visible, so I just want to make sure that it looks the best. What's going on, Nova? What I'm using to do all the surfaces in the van. It's this Whiz cabinet doors roller. And I can't believe we've almost used a gallon of paint on this van. I mean, there's a little under a half a gallon left, but I still think that's pretty wild. I don't feel like we painted that much, but apparently we have. So trying to see if it'll be enough, because we still got those 2 bed panels we're going to cut and paint tonight. So then I use this. I use this. This is a 2-hour wait period between coats. So they're 2 hours, and then we'll do a light sanding, and then we'll also fill in any places that we have in here. And so what I do is I use this. I use a razor blade, and then I use this right there, paint and patch. This paint and patch is ready in 30 minutes. If there's a massive chunk missing, then I use this. I use this plastic wood. It's awesome. It dries in, I think it's sandable in 15 minutes. Let's see what it says. Yeah, 15 minutes depending on the depth. And so if these little holes that I have to fill, I'm actually going to paint over them first, and then I'll come back and fill them. It's just my process. It seems to work out the way that I like it. Scratched. I find that I used it for all my baseboards when I was renovating the shop, and I decided it's really tough. So it's perfect for a van, especially like in the back here if you're going to be throwing bags around. And instead of doing fabric, you're going with a painted surface. I would definitely recommend this Scuff X. This is what it looks like right here. Measure more Scuff X. And then also make sure that if you have areas that you're working with that are going to be exposed, so it's an exposed edge that you're visually going to see throughout the life of the van, now's the time to really pay it's asking a lot of this wood, but I want as close to a cabinet grade finish on this as I want to. And I achieved that in the kitchen gallery area. So we're going to do the same thing for the back of the van. And then you definitely need to back roll this because this has a really high edge buildup. And you could, when you roll on, you could be gentler with your brush, but I find that that's not the only, even if you do that, it doesn't actually fix the problem. Okay, that's about as much off with some sandpaper. And at this step, don't worry if you got like a little bit of fuzz or something on the top of the paint. We're going to come back and we'll just knock that off with some sandpaper. But like these edges, make sure you don't have that buildup on the edge. It's really pronounced with this paint. And I'm only paying attention to this side. I'm not worried about the back side. Okay, so we've gone through and just made sure that we don't have any drips. So that looks good. We'll come back and we're going to we'll use a foam brush on this section right here. You do need to wipe off this excess paint. I forgot to use a tack cloth. That's okay. Let's make sure we do it on this side. This just takes that sanding, the sanding dust that didn't get blown off. Got too many wood scraps back here. Under all these pieces, I have directional arrows. So it tells me, what's the front, what's the side. Actually, I lied. All I have is the front. But you can put, what different ones you want. So, yeah, don't be proud and think you can remember everything that goes on in your build. Give yourself some cheat sheets. Oh man, there's a good time to plug the DIY cheat sheet. So I actually have a cheat sheet for you guys. It's a DIY van build cheat sheet. Link is in the description below. If you guys don't know what that is, it is a Excel document that I put together, and it lists all the items I've bought off of Amazon over the past 3 years that I've shipped to the shop. It's a great place to start if you don't know where to start with your van build. If you're just kind of in the planning phases or you're actually looking for parts. So there's solar panels on there. It's a bunch of Renogy stuff. I use all kinds of stuff now. So Renogy, EcoFlow, Victron. I'm not really, yes or no about any of them. It's really just depends on what use case you have. But the DIY van build cheat sheet has a bunch of those components on it. It also has HVAC. So you would consider that as like Dometic RTX 2000 air conditioner or the Max fan, kind of different varieties and versions of that. And then it also has a bunch of the 80/20 hardware that I use. So any type of stainless steel bolts, tools is actually a really important part of that list. There's a lot of tools that you use throughout your van build, such as wire crimpers or even riv nuts. So when I did the Adventure Wagon install, a lot of riv nuts. Essentially, that whole kit is installed using riv nuts. So it's important to have something that can help you quickly do that. And there's an attachment for your drill. It's called a riv nut drill adapter, and it helps you get those rivets in quicker. There's all kinds of other stuff. I think there's some electrical wires, some switches, plugs, and stuff like that. There's over 250 items on it right now, and I probably have another 200 that I haven't put on, which hopefully I can get that done in the next coming weeks after we move on to the next build for the shop. But if you want the list, it's called the DIY Van Build Cheat Sheet. Link is in the description below. And if you're looking for a professional builder, you can contact me with Odyssey Custom Vans. So John and Susan contacted me through Odyssey Custom Vans, and this is their custom adventure van build. Link is in the description for Odyssey Custom Vans, and then when you click on that link, you'll scroll down the page and you can schedule a consultation with me if you want to talk about your own custom van conversion with me. All right, I'm gonna 2 little spots here I'm gonna touch up, and then I'm going to break, grab some food, and then get back in the shop and keep on working to get this van knocked out. We're so close. I just put a big chunk of paint on there. I don't know why I did that. Oh, last thing about this paint. Touch-ups on this paint are amazing. It's the best touch-up paint I've ever seen. Usually when you do a touch-up, it's kind of noticeable where you did the touch-up. For whatever reason, places I keep touching up in the van, it's seamless. It's a really good, I'm actually gonna touch this place up back here while I got this roller in my hand. But yeah, these touch-up areas in the van, this paint is the best. Such a good paint for touch-ups. Surprising how good it is. But yeah, I've got some pin nail holes back here that I'm just gonna get a little paint on. And believe it or not, once all this is installed, I'm still going to come back through here, scuff it up a little bit, and just give it one more top-off coat for John and Susan just to make it look excellent. I'll do probably 3 coats on here. So this is the first base coat, just nice and light. It's going to reveal any type of scratches. Luckily, this panel is perfect. There's no imperfections. This one has just a little, like 1, 2 little snags. They'll probably go away when I do the first sand. But I do that. Oh, I got some splatters over here. But yeah, first coat to fix everything and get all the little stuff out of the way. And then 2 hours after that, I'll sand, and then these big hole areas, I'll take that other stuff, I'll do it. It takes 15 minutes, dries. I'll sand that, put a little bit of paint on it, and then do this, do another coat, and then if I'm happy, 3 coats usually looks really good. But like at the kitchen area, I did 5 coats. So anything you see in the kitchen area is 5 coats. All right, got the panels painted, so we will keep on trucking. Guys, let me turn the camera back on. There we go. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are subscribed or get subscribed to the channel. Click that notification bell. I go live randomly throughout the week, so I don't really have a planned schedule. So I want you guys to be involved in the channel. Ask questions. If you have any questions, put those in the comments. Love to see that. We might do another live stream today if I can get back over to the kitchen galley, that was kind of the plan, but I'm going to pick up some wood anyway. Yeah, if you have any questions, put those in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this, and we'll catch you guys on the next live stream.